Are you looking for a radio program and podcast specifically made for kids? Then this is the episode not to miss. Most parents, when looking for entertainment for their children, want something where they don't have to worry about what values their kids are being taught. I can say with absolute certainty that I have found such a program. My two boys have been listening to it for several years. Not only do they still enjoy the program, but they have been influenced by the strong values promoted in each episode. The program now ranks in the top 0.5% of podcasts globally, not amongst faith for kids or faith categories, but of all podcasts and all categories. I will share the name of the program and introduce you to the program director as well as the executive producer in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. This program is made possible by financial support from Smile Online Course and Books. Smile Online offers online courses for teens and young adults designed to help them master social and career skills. Subject matter includes customer service skills, job interviewing, electronic etiquette, and managing stress. For more information, visit thefatherhoodchallenge.com. That's thefatherhoodchallenge.com.
Welcome to the Fatherhood Challenge, a movement to awaken and inspire fathers everywhere to take great pride in their role and to challenge society to understand how important fathers are to the stability and culture of their family's environment. Now, here's your host, Jonathan Guerrero.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode called Discovery Mountain, a radio show for kids. And yes, Discovery Mountain is the name of the radio show and podcast. Today, we're going to talk with director Doug Bruce and executive producer Ruben Gomez. Doug and Ruben, welcome to the Fatherhood Challenge.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Doug, Ruben, what is your favorite dad joke?
My favorite dad joke. Well, a bit of a story. I'll tell you my dad's dad joke. And this is a head scratcher for everybody because it was more of a riddle than a joke. And I know people will be thinking about this for a while. And if you actually have an answer to this riddle, please let us know because no one else has been able to answer it. And basically, his joke or his riddle was, what's the difference between a duck and what? And I said, no, what's the difference between a duck? And it had kind of a nonsensical answer. And he always laughed because people couldn't figure out what he was talking about. And the answer that he gave was, one of its feet is both the same. And it's like, okay, this makes no sense at all. But he got that reaction from everybody. And
that's what makes it good.
Actually, tell us if that really has some sort of a real meaning. I'd be happy to hear it because ever since I was a kid, he'd tell that joke. And people would always get this really weird look on their face. But anyway, that's when I think of a dad joke, I always think of that because that's kind of a warm, fuzzy spot from my youth.
That is a great dad joke. Well, Ruben, what's your favorite dad joke?
Oh man, I don't know if I have a favorite. Well, here I'll give you one, but I will tell you what my measures of success is how much facepalm I can get from my kids. So that's really what I'm after is how much facepalm and eye roll I can get from them. And so one of them is what does a baby computer call his father? Anybody?
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah, data.
Yep.
And I can see it right now. My girls would just have their palms on their face, shaking their head.
Yes.
That's the old eye roll.
Disavowing any knowledge of being related to me whatsoever.
Well, thank you both for sharing those. Doug, let's start with you. How did Discovery Mountain start? And what is the story behind how you got involved?
Well, I think Discovery Mountain actually kind of started before my involvement. And Ruben can probably touch on that when you go to him next. But for my involvement, I had been involved. I had directed and produced It Is Written Canada for many, many years. Sean Boonstra, who was the speaker director at Voice of Prophecy when Discovery Mountain started, and his wife, Jean, I had worked with him for years when he was the speaker of It Is Written Canada. So I had a connection there already. And one day, actually, Ruben calls me up and says, "Hey, Doug, do you know of anybody that produces audio dramas?" And I'm thinking, audio dramas? Like you mean War of the Worlds? Or like I didn't know that anybody's doing audio dramas. And so I said, not that I know of. And he says, listen, do you mind making some inquiries with your contacts, people in the industry that you deal with, and see if there's anybody that does this work? I said, okay, sure. I'll check it out. So I called around and everyone I spoke to said, audio dramas. Oh, no, we're not doing that. So I called Ruben back. I said, listen, I'm not getting any joy up here. There's nobody I can find that is presently doing that. I said, but, I've been working for many years with a composer that does scoring for all of the shows I work on. And I think in order for this to be, a really good, high quality program, we need some decent music on it. I said, what about my composer and I will take on the project and see how it goes. And I think the initial plan was to produce 6 episodes, if my memory serves me right. Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, we'll do the 6 episodes. And if you like them, great, we'll carry on. If you don't, I won't be offended, because quite honestly, my background is television. It's not audio dramas. And so I said, yeah, we'll take it on if that's okay with you. And Ruben said, yeah, great. Why not? We give it a shot. And we did. And the first few programs, I think, turned out pretty well. Everybody seemed to be happy. And so we moved on from there.
Ruben, what about you? How did you get involved?
Well, I mean, Doug kind of alluded to it. And so if you back up a little bit before I first called Doug and said, help, I don't know what we're doing. My background is news, is broadcast journalism, radio and television, nonfiction, right? And I felt like the team and I were really good at creating that kind of stuff, nonfiction. Television shows. We had a podcast for Sean Boonstra. It was like a talk radio style podcast, and that was really cool. And Jean had started talking to me. I don't know. I'm going to go back maybe late 2015, early 2016. And she's always had a passion for kiddos and kids ministry, just really, really providing solid faith-based things that are going to help them in their spiritual journeys. And she approached me one day with this passion project of reviving kids audio drama, and she didn't call it that. That was kind of my way of describing it. Right. Cause initially I was like, really, in a video first world? Let me think about that, and I thought about it, and I was already a podcast like nerd, right? I listened to all sorts of podcasts, and I always have ever since they were a thing. And I knew that podcasting and audio stuff was like on the upsurge. And I said, this could be an opportunity for us to like really get involved on the ground floor. And realized it was really a chance to make something classic feel new, right? Like the audio dramas of old, but feel new in today's world. And Jean also asked me to voice the main character, Jake Donovan, which, as an aside, by the way, his voice sounds something like this. Oh no, it's a disaster. Anyway.
Yeah, my ears are sore after a day of recording with Ruben doing Jake, I tell you.
Doug's cabinets, he's got metal cabinets in his studio, and they ring in anticipation of
they
Jake's
resonate.
Voice ring. Yeah, resonate. But anyway, we jumped in, and Discovery Mountain, as you said, is now in the top 0.5% of worldwide podcasts by downloads, and that's by listen score and a few other metrics out there, and that puts us ahead of 99.5% of all podcasts globally. Millions of downloads each year. And we're really thrilled to see how much families connect with it. And I like to talk about those numbers, ahead of 99.5% of podcasts, because for us, it's reach, and reach is what we want. We want kiddos to really have something that can help them in their faith journeys. And that's what Discovery Mountain is. And it's not just for kids, by the way.
I was just about to interject and say we have a lot of adults who contact us and say, hey, I love your show. There's more than one adult at my church that will stop me on a regular basis. Hey, love that episode. So yeah, definitely not just for kids.
All right, I'll confess. I listened to it too.
I knew it.
I'll even admit I enjoy it too.
We have the number of parents we have coming up to us at events saying, my kids will listen to it on repeat all the way. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But that's awesome too. And I don't want to leave this out. We've talked about how Doug and I, got involved, but let's, I want to be clear. This is Jean's passion project. Miss Jean, as you know her from the podcast, she's our fearless leader for Discovery Mountain. She is our lead executive producer and our show creator. she just really had this vision, and it's just been so much fun to work with her on this.
Doug, what can listeners expect from each episode?
Well, it depends. Each episode is basically, there's a couple of different types of programs we do. We do what we call our seasons, which are story arcs over multiple episodes. And those are 30-minute episodes. And in a Discovery Mountain year, we'll have 4 seasons, basically, with 6 episodes in each. And those are 29 minutes long. And for those, they're getting a full-blown half-hour drama. All the different situations our characters find themselves in, they'll go through that. You'll have multiple scenes in each episode in multiple locations, all backed up with custom scored music and sound effects. It basically sounds like a feature film without the picture. And some of the episodes are calm and conversational. Others are pretty intense, with the grizzly bears and whatever chasing, an older episode it was, or airplanes crashing or whatever. So, or Jake falling through the floor in the cafeteria as the wood disintegrates. So it runs the gamut from pretty exciting action to just more calm conversation. And so for the seasons, we'll take a storyline and we'll spread it out over 6 episodes and 6 29-minute episodes. And within those 6 episodes, there'll be an overarching principle that we're dealing with in those episodes, acceptance or forgiveness or what have you. And all the storylines are used to kind of clarify those concepts. And within those 6 show story arcs, there will be a Bible story portion. So we'll be taken back in time to a Bible story that illustrates those concepts. So those are our seasons, as we call them, which are the 6 show story arcs. In between those seasons, we have what we call mini adventures. And those are basically 8 to 12 minutes in length, and they're generally one scene dramas. So someone's, we're finished school for the day and the class is leaving and the teacher asks a student to stay behind to discuss something that's happened in their life. And they'll kind of work through just a mini concept, certainly oftentimes a bit of a moral question, and it will kind of be explored in the space of 8 to 10 minutes. And the story happens in that mini, and that's it, right? Although we have recently started, so we can expand those storylines a little bit more. We have upcoming, we'll have a 4-show group of minis. So for 4 weeks, we'll have continuing stories over 4 minis, so we can expand those stories a little bit. But generally, those are the 2 types of shows, and those are what the listeners can expect to hear.
So we're trying the best we can to describe what the program is like, but there's nothing like hearing it for yourself. So here's a short clip, just giving you a brief introduction to what the program is like and just a small handful of characters.
Hello there. You look like you're new around here. I'm Miss Jean. Are you exercising your faith? Oh, I see. My favorite place to exercise my faith is in Discovery Mountain. Oh, you've never visited Discovery Mountain? Well, I'm on my way there right now. Yes, Jake does live there. Well, yes, I have met Jake. He's a good friend. You'd like to meet him? I'm not surprised. Well, come on. Let's take an adventure in Discovery Mountain, where every day is an exercise in faith. Isn't it beautiful here? Just look at the mountains and, that's Little Lake right over there. Oh, I don't see Blue Birdie. She's usually docked right there on Little Lake. Oh, there she goes. Someone's flying her. Well, let's walk over to Trekkers. I'll introduce you to... Gadget! Come here, boy. Who's my favorite dog? Gadget's Jamie Simon's dog. He's an Australian Shepherd. Come on, boy. We're on our way to Trekkers. Lead the way.
Well, look who's here. Hi, Miss Jean.
Hi, Mr. Simon. I brought a visitor with me.
I see that. Welcome to Discovery Mountain.
This is Trekkers. Isn't it a great store? Mr. Simon, you founded this store when?
I started the store back in 1968.
Right, back when you founded this town.
Yes, the store was small back then, more of an outpost for people just trekking through.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hi, Granddad.
My granddaughter, Natasha.
Oh, hi, Natasha. Now, Mr. Simon, have you seen Jake today? I want to introduce our visitor to him.
No, I haven't seen Jake. Sorry. Oh, excuse me for just a moment. Here's Stan.
Hey, Mr. Simon. I have a delivery for you.
Thank you, Stan. Now, you stay safe driving back down the mountain.
Thank you. Will do.
We hope you enjoyed that short clip. Doug, would you explain what they're going to hear next?
We did one recently where there was a child who was visiting an elderly woman, and she offered to give that child something to play with or distract themselves with, and they ended up finding a Rubik's Cube. Well, they wouldn't call it a Rubik's Cube; they just called it a cube puzzle, but it basically was a Rubik's Cube. And the kid took the cube back to the school, and all of a sudden, it's gone like viral. Everybody wants to play with cubes, and so on and so forth. And then over the 6 episodes, it turns out that they're going to have now a cube puzzle contest, and they're going to have like an entrance fee and help raise money for the new playground. Anyway, so the scene that I've kind of selected is the final contest for the prize for this cube puzzle contest. And one of the reasons I liked it was there was multiple characters in it. There was a lot of sound effects. There was some music in it. It just kind of would give your listeners a sense of what they might expect from Discovery Mountain.
Hey, I'm actually solving this. I think I'm better at this one-handed. Solved!
Mrs. Olson, you solved it!
I'm as shocked as the rest of you. Trust me.
Congratulations to our very own 4th through 6th grade teacher, Olivia Olson.
Good job, Mrs. Olson.
Now, on to round 2. Just 3 contestants remain. Mr. Simon, come on up here and lead us in round 2.
Oh, all right, DS. Happy to. Ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 3 contestants. Leon Tremblay, Brianna Harris, and Kyler Foster.
Go, Kyler!
All right, both timekeepers, take your positions. Ready? Begin.
Just left and then... No. Wait, is that right?
Come on now, brain and fingers. Don't fail me now.
Step 1, done. Now, step 2.
Joyce, I'm too nervous to watch.
Kyler's doing great, Jordan.
This means so much to him.
He looks like he's almost solved it.
Really?
Solved.
Woohoo, Kyler!
Is it official?
It's official. Kyler is the winner.
Come on up here, Kyler.
Good job, Kyler.
Thank you to each of you for participating in the tournament. Your registration ticket fees will go a long way towards helping us rebuild the playground. Thank you. Congratulations, Kyler. Your prize, compliments of Mr. McGee.
Thank you, DS and Mr. Simon. Thank you, everyone. But I can't accept this check. I signed up for the tournament to help the school.
What are you saying, Kyler?
I'd like to donate my prize money to the school playground fund. DS, will this be enough to finish it?
Whoa, well, yes, more than enough.
Good.
Well, thanks to McGee and Kyler, this tournament has been a wonderful success. Congratulations, everyone.
Very cool. Very cool. Ruben, what are others saying about the program?
An example this summer, just a few weeks ago, actually, in July, I met a 15-year-old girl who apparently had met us before, and I didn't remember. She met us back in 2019. I'd met a 15-year-old girl who came up to me, and she started talking about how she was just back in, when she first met us in 2019. She was scared of everything. She had, intense anxiety, and she had been bullied at school. There was social awkwardness, a lot of things going on for her. And I really felt for her because I can personally resonate with all of that, especially the anxiety. And, I have, just other things that I've had to deal with throughout my life, and still have to deal with. And, she said her mom encouraged her. Actually, what encouraged was not the word. It was her mom made her listen to Discovery Mountain, and they already knew about Voice of Prophecy. They listened to, her family, I think, listened to Sean's programming and some other stuff. And she was even scared listening to that. She had like a very somatic response in her body. And that's real. That is 100% real, folks. And for whatever reason, her mom introduced her to us at 2019 International Pathfinder Camporee, big old event in Gillette, or sorry, not in Gillette. It's in Gillette these days, but it was then in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and got a picture with her, and turns out she was just starting to listen. And she said the more she listened, she started to come out of her shell. Her fears started melting away. Those kind of anxious responses in her body started going away, and she started coming to terms with who she was for herself, and really, right, instead of who other people said she was. And what that meant is and I'm not going to claim that Discovery Mountain single-handedly transformed her life, but according to her, Discovery Mountain played a huge role in opening her up to Jesus, and understanding that the only identity that matters is her identity in him. And that was just a powerful moment when she told me that. I was a little dusty in there, may have been like some tears coming out, but it was just,
Yeah.
and so, deepened her faith. And just, that's what it's all about. That is why we do this.
Just to piggyback on that, we've had kids contact us in response to episodes where one of our characters have made a decision for baptism. And the kids will call
Wow.
in, and the kid will call in, and a listener will call in and say, you know what, I've decided to do the same. That encouraged me. And that's so, it just gives us energy. Cause producing the program is a big job. It's a lot of work. Sometimes you wonder, like, is this even worthwhile? And then you get responses like that. You get people, you get children sending in artwork to us of their favorite scene and whatever. And it really resonates with them, and it's having a positive effect.
Doug, do I understand correctly that both adults and kids can audition for roles on the program?
Well, absolutely. We're always looking for talent, and you can go to our website, and you can there's a portion of the website, a tab on the website where you can audition, where you can record some audio on your computer and you can send it in. And obviously, if you're underage, you need your parents' permission to do that. You know what? You may not get the role. We may not have a part for you, but it's worth a try. And we've had some tremendous finds, and you can hear it in the quality of the show. We have some really, really good actors, and all of them just auditioned at one time. We need adult characters. We need children characters. We have our hardest time filling roles for young male actors. For some reason, the young females, the young girls, they all seem to be very confident and have a lot of energy. The boys haven't quite gotten there yet. So, yes, adults and kids, by all means, we would be happy to hear your audition.
It's really easy. DiscoveryMountain.com. Look for the audition link. There's scripts there. There's instructions on what to do. You can record it from anywhere, from your home, wherever you are, and get it submitted to us that way. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to be local to even voice the character. More than half. I would say more than 60% of our actors today are remote internationally around the world.
Ruben, how can dads listening find Discovery Mountain and share it with their kids?
Super easy. discoverymountain.com. It's all free there. You can listen to the podcast there. You can go back to our entire back catalog, listen to all the minis. You can also access our club, which has bonus content. It's a lot of fun. On top of that, we are on every major podcast platform that you can think of: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen to. You can just search up Discovery Mountain. You can listen there. You can set it up to auto download episodes so that if you happen to be driving through like the mountains of Colorado where there's no cell coverage, you can still continue listening. And brand new, fresh, hot off the press, we have got a brand new Android and iOS app. Just search it up in your app store for Discovery Mountain, and you should find it there.
And just to make things easier, if you go to thefatherhoodchallenge.com, that's thefatherhoodchallenge.com. If you go to this episode and look for the episode called Discovery Mountain, a radio show for kids. Once again, that's Discovery Mountain, a radio show for kids. Look for this episode right below the episode description. I will have the links that Ruben just mentioned posted right there for your convenience. Yeah. Doug, Ruben, as we close, what is your challenge for dads listening now?
What is my challenge to dads listening now? So your kids watch how you live. More is caught than taught. Remember that. Daughters, they look at you to see how you treat women. It could be your wife. It could be other women in your life, your family members, friends, acquaintances. And that informs their future relationships. It shapes how they look for people in their future relationships. So let's just remember that. Sons, they learn what it means to be a man from you. They learn from you. Like I said, more is caught than taught. It reminds me of the verse, Proverbs 22:6, train up a child, right? In the way they should go. And later they won't depart from it, right? So words are important. Absolutely. Yeah, let's teach them. Let's teach them words, but let's show them how to live. And I think that's really daily examples of kindness, respect, integrity. It's really the foundation that kids carry into adulthood.
Doug, what about you?
Be involved in your kids' lives. Like we were active with our kids. One thing we did do when they were young, we decided, for the most part, no video games. Now my kids are a little older. Video games are a little more primitive back then, but still all their friends were spending hours and hours and hours on video games. We weren't doing that. We were out together. We were out for walks. We were out playing hockey. We were out snow skiing, water skiing, swimming, whatever. We are still very close. We go out and do things together. They want to see us. We're involved in their lives. And a lot of it has to do because we connected on activities. We're out doing things. We're out doing positive things. And I think that's, as much as possible. When I was young, my dad was extraordinarily busy and we didn't have a lot of opportunity to do things together. And I know he regretted that later in life. I mean, we still got out and camp from time to time, but do everything you can to be involved in your kids' life.
Doug, Ruben, thank you so much for both of you for being on the Fatherhood Challenge, and to the entire production team at Discovery Mountain. Thank you so much for all of the work that you are doing, that you have done, for being such a positive influence on so many listening families, including mine. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fatherhood Challenge. If you would like to contact us, listen to other episodes, find any resource mentioned in this program, or find out more information about the Fatherhood Challenge, please visit thefatherhoodchallenge.com. That's thefatherhoodchallenge.com.